Hello indie game fans! This video is brought to you by the Singapore-made party-based deck-building roguelite Guardian Quest, which, reductively, mixes Darkest Dungeon and Slay the Spire. Originally released in early access in March, this has gone from strength to strength, with primarily balancing changes and bug fixes in the patches so far. Pretty sure that the Steam summer sale will be live soon, and of course this will be discounted, with a big patch during the sale and the Act 2 content patch next month, but certainly one which is worth the price of admission. Hey, remember May? Seems like such a long time ago with so many showcases in June and of course the ongoing World events. But it was indeed an awesome month for indie games. Special mention goes to the not so indie but silly fun Man-Eater, where it just feels great to play as a huge shark. But we shall begin with the pixel art point-and-click adventure game VirtuaVerse. As mentioned, the cyberpunk setting is pretty hot this year, and this one manages to nail it, set in a world where the majority of the population is interconnected via an AR neural network that is purely optimized based on your personal data, which kinda sounds like the hell we live in right now. Do note that it is very classic point-and-click adventure gameplay design, so it may not be for everyone, but for a lovely throwback experience, cannot get any better.
Once upon a time, there was a boy, an orphan without a single toy. His name was Pete. His world was grey, until he found a friend one day.
Neversong is a haunting puzzle action platformer, which is a unique mix since games often tend to focus in one direction or the other.
In terror as Ren was kidnapped, so the grown-ups went to try and find her.
You made it to my feast. Our children and I now have much to eat.
However, with its combination of not so difficult puzzles with light combat and boss fights, this makes the overall structure and feel of this quite interesting.
And this was his last farewell, for Pete into a coma fell.
Okay, first day on the job. I'm so fired up for a brand new start. Who would have thought that to be a firefighter all you need is to sign into an app? Today I become an Ember firefighter. Sure, I don't have any previous experience or actual training, but pointing a hose is easy, right? Oh hey, my first job. I better get this right. Let's move. This is gonna be fun. Whoa, that's a pretty big fire. You don't expect me to tackle this alone, do you? There's gotta be some backup out there somewhere. Guys, little help? Look at all these fellow brave Ember responders, ready to lay it on the line to save lives, for a reasonable fee of course.
Uber Firefighters basically describes the gist of Ember, where the emergency services are now part of the gig economy.
But more importantly, let's make some money. Feel the burn, and if at first you don't succeed, fry again. I thought of that one myself.
Disturbingly, you and some optional team members have to rescue people from burning houses, but can also loot the inexplicable stacks of money in the houses.
Ugh, some people just can't be pleased. Well, next please.
Very interesting co-op multiplayer title as an alternative to games like Vermintide, and we'll see how early access goes for this.
My name is Alicia. I wouldn't fit in anywhere at Wintermore Academy if it wasn't for Tactics Club. It's like my home.
The beautiful hand-drawn title Wintermore Tactics Club is a charming game set in a preppy school and is quite the interesting mix of turn-based tactics and visual novels, where you play as a bunch of students forced into snowball fights where the winner's club will not be disbanded. There are customization options, magic spells and so on, but the visual novel elements and characters are the main draw, something a little different and might be a good entry to get someone into VNs.
We can use our tactics and our wits. We can reach out to new friends and invite them to join the club. And maybe we can find out what's really going on in this school.
Let's try to stick together this time.
Like Ember mentioned above, Deep Rock Galactic is a first-person multiplayer co-op game, but has you playing as space dwarves who need to go on dangerous missions. The success of this title should not be understated, since it is tremendously popular, with the co-op focus, 4-player classes, procedurally generated caves, fully destructible environments, and a whole bunch of aliens to kill. Little bits of a learning curve due to the large variety of gadgets, classes, roles, and so on, but get this and a couple of friends for a good old co-op experience. I've seen signs of the Sojourner being described as a dark horse contender for Game of the Year, and while I wouldn't go that far, I do think that it's a good game that does make you think. Essentially, this is about conversations and relationships that you build with people, of how you can make efforts to stay in touch or to gradually lose contact with the people that you thought were your close friends. The deck building gameplay portion revolves around ensuring that you have the right set of cards to be able to form links in order to win, in quotes, the conversation. But each failed conversation is also a chance for storytelling, much like what was done in Pyre. If you love Satisfactory or Factorial, listen up. Hydra is perhaps one of the best such games to come along in recent memory, where you build a gigantic automated mining operation. While technically not in early access, this developer will continue to work on it, with the next major patch coming in July or August, so do support the solo dev. While the action roguelite farming sim Atomic Crops lean more in the roguelite direction than I would have preferred, this mix of genres is something worth noting, and I love to see someone else take another crack at it. Tasked with providing food for the village in this post-apocalyptic world, fend off mutants while protecting your crops and maybe finding love. I adore the art style in this game, and if you do love a challenging roguelite, this is one for you. Speaking of pixel art action roguelites, the post-apocalyptic I, Dracula Genesis is an excellent one that is worth getting even though it's still in early access. This follows in the footsteps of games like Enter the Gungeon and The Binding of Isaac, with quite a number of systems layered on. There are multiple playable characters, each with their own unique special ability, with multiple types of weapons, each with randomized stats, a magic system, unlocks, and more. There's a nice mishmash of inspirations in the enemy designs as well, and it could be your next roguelite fix. I was in love when I first came to know of the pixel art platformer immersive sim Wildfire due to the visuals alone, but digging a little deeper revealed that same sort of layered mechanics and system interactions as something like a System Shock. Putting these systems in a side-scrolling platformer is quite fascinating and a nice change of pace from the usual first person, with a compelling story and a magic skill tree to play with as well. The sequel to one of my favourite puzzle games of all time, Polybridge 2 is without a doubt a better version of the first, with new mechanics and objectives while retaining the core creativity and engineering required to build bridges. Lovely low poly art and relaxing soundtrack makes this one a dream.
Future where crime rules the streets. When the citizens are in trouble, they call the authorities. When the authorities are in trouble, they call the bounty hunters.
Showtime!
Anaconda. She knows the meaning of life.
When it comes to pixel art action platformers, Huntdown is one of the best modern high-bit ones, which does still retain some of the allure of games from the past.
And her favorite smell is fear.
Die!
John Sawyer, cyborg. He's been a man since he was a boy. Enjoy your flight.
A run-and-gun shooter with a Blackthorn-style cover system, hunt down the gang leaders of the various factions as a bounty hunter.
AK-47. Get out of my sight! Though he only donates other people's blood. Yeah. Horror has a name. It's Mo-Man, but those who stand in the killer machine's path know him by the name Grim Reaper.
The boss fights are a key highlight, with some fun ones which I shall not spoil, but overall a very solid entry indeed.
Module not responding.
When Mo-Man looks at you, you look at your grave.
Batter up, strike.
You may hunt down those who have it coming.
Get up, do your job!
Too bad, they all have it coming. The Hoodlum Dolls. Yeah. The Misconducts. The Heat Seekers. The #1 suspects. Hunt them down and make a healthy living by making living unhealthy.
One of the sleekest and most stylish titles to date is the aerial combat focused Jet Lancer. Play as a pilot and engage in dogfights and take down giant robots, with great feeling precise controls that enable you to pull off slick moves once you have mastered them. Sure, there's a central story with some bad guys, but the minute-to-minute action should not be missed. With the look and genre of Resolution, most of you will make the comparison to Hyper Light Drifter, which I do think is fair, but this game does stand on its own as well. An action-adventure title, this will be familiar to anyone who has played a Zelda game, in terms of the combat and exploration, with quite a large map, and even item unlocks that allow you to access new areas. The writing and story is pretty good, where you need to escort a curious AI deep into the heart of enemy territory with its share of secrets to uncover as well. Awesome music and sound design, so wholly recommended. If you're not already on board the Monster Train, then buy a ticket and hop on. A Slay the Spire style roguelite deck builder, this game differentiates itself by having multiple lanes of enemies to deal with 5 clans and their unique heroes and gimmicks that provide that critical variety. One nice thing is that by default, the game isn't as difficult as other roguelites, so it's perfectly possible to get that first win, which is where things get interesting. There are 25 Covenant levels, which gradually ramp up the difficulty, and beating the game at Covenant 25 seems to be the main endgame content. My wife and I have been absolutely consumed by this game, and while it is not in early access, the developers are promising more free content patches, so for being my new deck building obsession, this takes the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos, and I will see you after the jump.